Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Podcast. This is the back of the bus session. Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Back of the Bus Sessions podcast. Today, I've got some mates with me. I'm buzzing for this, so let's go in with C's of Mirth.
Hello.
Yeah.
How do? Yeah. Oi, oi.
I go for it. Lads, I'm going to go in with the most basic BBC style way of doing this. What's your names and what instrument you play?
Yeah, okay. All right. Go on, you go first.
Okay, I'm Al Judders. I do the singing and the guitaring.
Don't you just?
I also do this some singing and the guitaring, but not as much singing. I mean, considering it's quite a multi-instrumental band, we both play the two dullest instruments.
Oh, why'd you send you two?
Yeah.
The dull ones.
Yeah.
I've had some very, very special nights with you guys. Oh. You've been at the farm. I think I've seen you at, what festival? Bearded Theory?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bearded Theory, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, well, we did Why Not, but we didn't. You wouldn't have recognised us at Why Not. I think we did it. This is many, many years ago. Didn't we do like a kids' workshop?
We did it with the GeoFest crew.
Well, that was it.
And our way of getting in was doing some sort of old style. It's a knockout style game show.
We did a game show.
Yeah. Really? Who was the host?
I'm pretty sure it was just us, generally. Yeah. And we had sort of like pop-up. Like real life pop-up pirate where you had like a water butt and then people had to put swords in the water butt. I mean, that made it on stage for quite some time.
There was one of our mates who just basically waited in the barrel until they got stabbed enough and then they just jump up. That'll be teams sort of split into like groups of 5 or whatever.
Could you just go back to the mic?
Yeah, sorry, mate. That was that was sort of more in our sort of full-on piratical days. But yeah, we pulled out the stops for that. Why not? That was
I've got to ask, how long has Seas of Mirth been going for?
I think
we've officially lost count now.
Yeah, I think in October it'll be 15 years.
Wow,
mate.
And is it
correct?
Quite a lot of morphing over time, even with band members swapping in and out.
All the possible morphing.
I don't know. I think it was, mate, if you want to do the rockumentary, it's not going to sell any copies, but it'll be interesting.
Have you two been throughout?
I think
we've been the ever presence. Yeah, that's it.
The only originals, or
I think so.
Original pirate material.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask: was it always then to have a performance on stage of no other? Did you always want to be silly, have fun? Sorry for your notes.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. It's a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. Did you always want to be just more than music?
I think we wanted to sort of just be a bit sort of always a bit flip the bird at the sort of the state of music, whatever it was in at the time. Basically, it's like if you notice it's been done too much, do something different. Basically, sort of try and ruffle a few feathers, trying to raise some eyebrows.
I think we go into places just trying to annoy the crowd as much as possible. I probably for about 4 years, actually. From the first 4 years, it was seeing how much we could annoy the crowd. I mean, but we were kind of like it was almost like stand-up, wasn't it? It wasn't like we didn't really call class ourselves as a band. I mean, it was acoustic. We did busking things. We did Edinburgh Festival. That was
that was in the early days. Yeah.
Did you meet over music first though, or was it through just literally being mates and having a laugh?
Well, I moved into his house, and then within 24 hours, we were in a band together.
With permission.
No, I looked him up. It was like, right, I'm having it. He's the guy. I'm having it.
The guy in the attic up here. I really like you. Keep playing guitar. Have you seen South Park with the hippies? And they've got hippies in the mornings.
Yeah. Is that when they sort of turf them out by blasting loads of Slayer?
Yeah. That's what happens in Eric Cartman's house. He's got them in like the cracks of the wall and stuff. Get out of here. So you just went and moved in.
Yeah, well, we had a spare room going, basically. I'd moved in with some of... Because you did 1 year in Derby. It was at Derby Uni. We were at Derby Uni.
Yeah.
And then we had a room going. And then Al came in the first day with like... I'd never met him. The landlord said, we've got your new housemate coming in today. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And then Al came in with like a Marshall stack. and like this sort of his dreads and like this kind of like, you know, like quite tragic kind of like cargo trousers.
Oh yeah.
What were you looking like at the
Camouflage.
time?
Oh, listen, man, I've not changed looks at all in 15 years. I'm still kind of, I don't know really. I look like I should have been in the editors.
Yeah. So you
Slightly
rocks
more,
up,
yeah.
and then do you connect straight away, or you got a bit of a weird relationship?
I think we just chatted about music straight away from the get-go over the first brew, and then we got drunk that night, and then Paul played some recordings of his that he made through Cubase and like a very basic stick microphone.
The stick microphone.
Yeah.
Oh, like one of those.
Well, it's actually, you know, like a headset, you know, like a Britney mic.
Yeah.
So all I had was just the mic from
I've
the
got
Britney
one of
mic,
those at the back. Yeah.
minus the headset. That's what I was making recordings on at the time. Oh, it's
Mate, that's
You'd hear
beautiful.
some really high G sharp over all of the recordings. We got some detuned for that, mate.
Yeah.
And it's very sort of it was like nothing I've ever heard before. It was acoustic, but there was just so much sort of abandon and sort of rash in it. It was like, wow, this is really refreshing. I was a proper like music student, like studying my BA in popular music technology, and I think I was exhausted by studying music too much. I think that was it. That was why it's so refreshing. I was like, oh my god, this is like, there's two chords of this, but it doesn't matter. Then we got to make this into a band because I've just moved to Derby and want to sort of get out a bit and meet some funny folks.
A commonality that I get on the podcast when I meet musicians and they went on to do it at uni and study it. It's not a great story a lot of the time. Did you have a good experience from it, or did it overdo it for you?
What, the studying itself, or just the general?
They listened to music in a different way then, and then they couldn't hear it with just that authenticity and raw and pureness. It was always analysing it and being very analytical towards it.
Absolutely. I think you can be easily in danger of that. I think once you've learned a lot of the theory, you'll be able to sort of
pick it apart,
and then, you know, if I had a guitar on me, I'd listen to this, I'd be able to, you know, learn this in about 5 minutes, and then, you know, you're aware of the mechanics of how the chords and the theoristics work within the music, but it doesn't mean it doesn't take away the enjoyment, definitely.
Because then sometimes the naivety could be the beautiful part of it. Do you know, where accidental happenings and you're just doing it because you love the sound of it, but you don't quite know what you're doing. That can create that newness, can't it?
Exactly.
By accident then.
Yes.
So with you, when did the discussion start of we don't want to just do what everyone else is doing?
I mean, it's kind of weird. We didn't really discuss it much at the start. We just
went full pelt.
We just went in. In all honesty, I mean, El's like, I think so. Like what El had in sort of theory and knowledge, I didn't have any of that at all. Really, I was an English student, but I like kind of like sound, noise. I like kind of noise rock, and at the time, folk was kind of really big, but it was really serious folk, wasn't it? It was in that sort of
it was in the Bumford and Runs.
So it was, you know, that was all kind of coming out. Yeah, it all got a little bit kind of it all got a little bit overtaken by sort of the middle classes. A bit folk did, you know, that period. As much as I haven't said that, you know, we flipping loved Fleet Foxes and like Grizzly Bear at the time. You know, I think they're still great bands, you know. And but we were almost sort of taking the mickey out of that sort of the seriousness of that sort of thing. Like, you know, sort of Fleet Foxes, I feel really bad doing them down because I'm just a wonderful songwriter, you know, brilliant performance. But you know, all this kind of talk about being in the Appalachian Mountains and sort of ye olde England and ruffling the fur of a collie neath the table, all this stuff. And we just thought it was lovely. I mean, they're great, but like we thought, you know, we can't pull that off with any authenticity, really. So I guess, I mean, we liked all the stuff around that. We loved the harmonies, loved the harmonies, and loved the kind of little kind of licks and like the mandolin. I was kind of super into the sound of the mandolin and kind of folk instruments. But we didn't like the kind of like how serious it took itself, I think.
Right. Okay.
So,
While you were living together as well, did you have a similar taste in comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah, very
so,
much.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I think that's probably we probably had more similar taste in comedy than we did in music. Actually, probably.
Arguably, I'd say, yeah. We'd watch the same Big Train DVD on repeat and what.
Nice.
Which we still quote heavily today.
What else we saying here? What was that one?
Big Train.
Yeah, no, never heard of it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So underrated.
Simon Pegg was
Simon
funny.
Pegg as well.
Yeah, it's like the dream team. It was Simon Pegg, Kevin Eldon, Mark Heap.
Yeah.
The
The proper squad together.
The squad.
The total team. Yeah.
And it was a series.
There are 2 series
Sketch
out.
show, yeah.
Around the
Sketch
turn of the millennium. Yeah.
I mean,
And
I'm 93.
93. Right. Okay.
So
Mate,
should
you
I
don't,
know
you don't
it?
look a day over 35.
It's been a long paper round, mate. Hard work, I tell thee. It's the laughter line, so I have a lot of fun. But what is it? 80s? This
No,
sketch?
late 90s.
Late 90s?
Yeah,
Bloody hell. And what sort of humour are we alluding to here?
Surrealist comedy. Like that was definitely our thing.
Peep show style.
Yeah, Peep Show. I think Peep Show's probably not. I mean, we like stuff like Vic and Bob almost as well. Like that kind of like
I do
really
know Shooting Stars.
Yeah, it had to be surreal, like kind of like absurd or surreal. The stuff that just didn't have any real like.
I don't think
grounding
it's
in
Peep
reality.
Show I was thinking about. It's the Noel Fielding one.
Oh yeah,
What's
Mighty
that
Boosh.
one? Mighty Boosh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that
we liked
style.
a bit of Boosh as well. Yeah.
Boosh was well in around that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Sort of like, mid to late noughties.
Cemented.
Everyone had the same sort of. They're trying to rock the Vince haircut, like,
Yeah.
the MySpace look and everything, man.
I've not seen that enough yet either. But that nonsensical humour
Yeah.
used to terrify me because I went through I went through a patch where I had a bit of bad mental health, but then I mashed it all with drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Psychedelics to be one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when
right.
people used to do like nonsensical stuff, it was terrifying to me. Everything was just nothing made sense. So I sort of sunk from that. So now I've regained myself. I'm a dad now. I'm a bit more sensible and matured.
Yeah.
I'm in a much better space to listen to it. But
Yeah.
genuinely, that sort of humour, I was like,
It is
are they
quite
taking
dark,
the piss out of me?
though, isn't it? Surrealism and horror often
They
go
aim this at me.
side by side, don't they? Right?
I listen.
Yeah, true. I was glad you didn't watch Twin Peaks as well at the time, did you?
No, no.
Yeah, that might have been a step too
Is
far.
that- I'll watch it tonight and I'll know what you're on about. But when you're watching the same humour together and you're enjoying similar music, are you sort of looking at each other going, this is it. We can amalgamate all this together and just have fun on the stage.
No, I guess so, but without being that contrived, it kind of just slipped into our everyday psyche. Yeah, we just sort of living each other and just sort of pulling those sort of, I don't know, around those gags in the same sort of ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Because you're being so playful on stage though, does that take a lot of this, not seriousness away, but stress or pressure of making mistakes and so on? It's all sort of ad lib and just play.
I think maybe for everyone else, probably not for me. I'm notoriously nervous going on stage. Always have been. I think it was worse. It was worse actually when we were because we'd often do we did stuff like the Pleasance Dome in Edinburgh Festival. It was like big comedians playing either side of us, and we would play in between the comedians.
Yeah.
And we did a lot in Edinburgh where we did cabaret shows. Something we did a night with Reginald D. Hunter, and we'd be the sort of support slot. We'd be in between the comedians. We'd go on, and we were required to be sort of funny, Yeah. And but because I always got this feeling like everyone would be generally when we went on, people would be going to the bar and moving around, and also that feeling like people hate us. That was nerve-wracking. That's sort of going, we did a talent competition which this 11-year-old boy won, and we were just booed out of the place pretty much. Yeah, we did a song called "She's in Love with a Man with a Hook for a Hand."
Oh God, yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
The compere would go around the crowd and say what did you think of that?
Yeah.
And what
he said. I'm right to use bad language.
Please do.
Yeah.
I've said everything so far.
He said he looks at these lads they're students who've been wanking too much to bargain hunt.
Spent all their time
wanking over bargain
David
too much.
What does
I mean,
that
he's a sex icon already.
Break
man,
that
but
down
yeah,
to
there's
me.
still.
Yeah. I don't know how you put those sort of...
Yeah, 3 minutes to make that assumption.
Yeah.
Like, right, I've got it. I've nailed it about these guys. He was like, yeah.
I think that was very just off the cuff for him.
Yeah.
What do you think? Basically wanking everything.
Yeah. That's Edinburgh though for you. That's it's
tough.
so harsh. All the comedians we know say it. It's like they're like people have a really tough time, and it's like we kind of just went in off our jollies, and we had that.
Special place, isn't it? The Edinburgh
Yeah.
Fringe Fest.
Oh, I love it. It's my favourite city as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
Me and Chrissy just went for a I think I basically abducted her by accident one time. We were going to Nottingham, but then Chrissy's a school teacher, my partner, and I said, you don't have to go to work for the next week, do you? She had a week off. Should we not go Nottingham? Should I just keep driving? And then we just kept driving, and then suddenly we ended up at Land's End. Or John O'Groats. John O'Groats.
I went the wrong way.
And luckily we were in my mate's camper, so we were coming back, and Chrissy kept going, I think Edinburgh Fringe is on. And he goes, just because we're going through Edinburgh, it doesn't mean the Fringe is on. It's a very specific time when it's on. And then we booked in a hotel just to have a little bit of a wash. And it was on. So it's so lucky, because going around and just seeing all these amazing, different, eclectic mix of people, I've never been anywhere quite like that. I think it's one of the most of a kind things.
For us, like after coming straight out of uni, having that experience straight away, it was it broke us to an extent. But we went back the next year. We did it, but broke us. But like it was an amazing experience. Like at the time, we were really young, and just having that kind of like, and sometimes you'd win a crowd over, right? Or sometimes we did a lot of busking. We bus like twice a day, and sometimes there'd be like an act on next to you that is literally just someone flipping a bottle, and they'd have like 1,000 people around them.
Yeah.
But they knew how to get the crowd in.
It's that energy, isn't it?
It was the energy. They were almost like I think we learned a lot from those. I wouldn't say we always put it into practice, right? But I think we learned a lot during those weeks that we did there, and also getting largely booed.
Yeah. It was definitely had that baptism of fire.
It really was
trudging through the shit.
Yeah.
Like Andy Dufresne. So, what were the early days like for the band?
Lots of different members revolving all the time. It was like a revolving door at one point, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
We so it was originally it was me, Paul, Paul's mate Rick from uni, who looked like he looked 13 at the time.
He looked 13. It was 13. Yeah. Great hair.
Yeah,
He's watching this, Rick. I hope he's still got that great hair. Just great hair.
Do you not speak to Rick anymore?
No, he went to work on cruises for a bit, and then he's going to move to London. He's doing his thing. He's a photographer.
Nice.
He's doing his thing. Yeah, we'll bump into each other at some stage, I dare say. But yeah,
Good man. So there's you two, Rick.
There was Yanis. Another housemate, Cypriot Manowar fan who played
massive
the synth.
Manowar fan. Yeah, yeah.
And Dylan who played fiddle. He also moved in, and then it was just like, right, okay, we got a band now, haven't we? That was it.
Wow.
Can
you remember the first session together?
It's a good show, because we did actually try. I think when we got Dylan and Fee, and we tried to do some covers for a bit, because I kind of thought we could, I've got to bear it, we were skint, and I kind of thought. So I worked in a bar, and there was like this offer of doing a Thursday night residency there. So we tried to learn some covers, and I played the harmonium, Al's on guitar and djembe, and then we had sort of flute and a fiddle, and we kind of went through stuff, and then we'd do like half of Beetle Bum or something like that, and then it would, and then or like The Cure, and then
Nice.
And then we just end up going back to the pirate stuff, really. And basically, I think I was really, I'll be honest, I was really reluctant to go down the pirate route to begin with. I kind of wanted
Get back to the pirate stuff.
And then he kept sort of drawing me back in. But yeah, it was mainly in my bedroom, wasn't it?
It was that bedroom, yeah. Had that sort of magic vibe to it.
Yeah.
I remember when we were playing the harmonium, it's sort of like an American pump organ. It has a very haunting sound to it. Me and Paul were doing some writing at the time, and we would just write this song about summoning a ghost of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
And then suddenly the harmonium started shaking, and there was tremors within the within the floorboards and everything, and we were just like the house nearly fell down. All of a sudden, we just looked at each other like, "What have we done?"
Genuinely thought
I created a monster.
you said something like imagine if this released a ghost or something like that, and press this note, and the house started to shake. But we only realised after that it was like one of the biggest earthquakes in the UK.
Yeah.
Happened to happen at that exact moment.
Highest reading on the Richter scale. Yeah, measured in Derby. Yeah, at that particular moment.
Yeah. So we ran out.
Wrong button.
Yeah.
Where's backspace? I need to put this keyboard to the side.
Yeah.
Is pirate music a genre? Have you created it?
We probably made it.
Existed before, definitely.
definitely.
The more we came to touring it and playing it around, we noticed it was more than a thing than we thought.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I thought I'd made up spoken word. I'm going to do rap, but there's going to be no beat, and I'm just going to pause and say it when I want.
Wow.
You heard of John Cooper Clarke? Nah, I did this.
Yeah, definitely the Southwest. It was shanties, right? Shanties have been going for...
Exactly. That's another thing we wanted to parody as well at the time, because it's a very playful genre, but there was a lot of sort of, again, like with the folk thing, there's lots of very sort of serious vibes to it as well. We were like, well, let's annoy some people.
It is quite a niche in
what
what you're doing. Was it easier or harder to get gigs? Because if people were being quite serious at the time and they thought music is serious and you're parodying it in essence, was it, what were gigs like for you?
No, I think actually it did enable us to get
definitely
kind of gig, because we're always kind of like the novelty act on a bill.
Yeah,
it was harder when we stopped doing it. When we started to develop as a band, like 2015 sort of time, when we're like, right, we can't do this forever.
Yeah,
and we started to really develop as a band, and we got more members in and stuff like that. And then it was like, how many people? 10 people. Okay. All right.
Even our 9-seater van wasn't enough to house everyone.
But firstly, we were kind of often, like I say, we do interludes and stuff, or there'd be like an all-dayer on, and we'd be the act that sort of we played on the roof. Or do you know what I mean? There'd be something that we play on top of the bar, or there'd be some because we could do it. We often did it not plugged in. You would parade, or we often. It was so ramshackle. It was kind of it was really ramshackle. We did a lot of kind of like we did like private parties and stuff. It was just me and Al. It was for quite a while.
Just us two.
It was dark. Really,
we played this.
It's so much fun.
We played this house party on this balcony, and we were just sort of getting changed into our outfits, and Paul found this gorgeous purple wig that came down to sort of shoulder height. It was very sort of like 60s fashion, and then he played the gig in a wig, and he was just constantly making everyone crease with that.
Because I looked like I was wearing I look like a Tudor because of my kind of costume.
I think it does this funny on anyway, but with that wig, it just multiplied tenfold. And then
I like it when
after
people sometimes don't have a personality, so they get a prop. No,
that's neat. Interesting hair.
After the show, the ladies' house party was just like, pulled him aside and just had a very serious word. It's like, can I have my wig back? Seriously,
I felt terrible. I felt terrible. We did piss people off. But at the time we were kind of like, we're always late. We're always late. We're always like, some of us, like when we started getting more members, we were generally pissed.
Right, okay, yeah.
Or someone would be. Or like, we did have a drummer, Fairy, if you're watching. If we did have a drummer that would just like rock up like late sometimes. We'd found a Belgian beer bar around the corner. We did.
Didn't help that we toured in Holland as well sometimes, where it can easily get out of hand.
Yeah.
So turning up late and being drunk wasn't expected by the pirate band.
I'd be
so surprised.
People are like,
where are they? I need them on time. It's
no one seemed to care that much really, because it was all sort of anything goes when we finally hit the stage. But I don't know. I guess the more we toured and the more we sort of ended up on the same on the same bills as other pirate bands and stuff like that. We were like, do we want to do this forever? Really? And because we got within the crew, we've got such a wildly wide taste of ranges and tastes, and there's so much we can
possibilities
chuck to the table and make this hot cauldron of whatever we want. And I suppose after a while we'd seen it quite a lot, and we got our thing, and then they got their thing, and we kind of wanted to, I don't know, branch out a little bit more, as it were, but still very much keep the sort of silliness as the core of the band. You know what I mean? It's not like we would sort of like, oh, we're all grown up now, we want to.
Have either got you an anecdotal moment? Do you know how silliness was the core?
Yeah.
Where you over-silled and you're looking at it going, what are we doing? There'd
be a lot of times where we'd be having very, very serious conversations about, no, should it be a gar or a bar or maybe a and then and then every now and again you'd break out of it and realise that how absurd this very conversation is ridiculous. Like, no, it should be gar and that. There's again, it's sort of like silliness. I mean, there were times when we did some, I think, we started doing big shows. We went from doing tiny shows, tiny shows, little pubs in Derby, pubs around here, around Derbyshire, and then we sort of all of a sudden just started doing massive shows,
festival style.
Yeah, well, we did we were doing a Falmouth Student Union. They wanted a pirate band, obviously Falmouth,
Yeah, I've been to that uni.
And we got there, and it's
beautiful.
2,000 people there.
Oh my god!
And
I suppose that's one of those moments where you look at and go, "What are we doing?
Yeah.
What is this?"
And you suddenly feel very conscious of this. Oh my god, this is all right when you're just doing it in front of a few mates, and then oh, this is ridiculous. This is silly.
Pressure on there.
The pressure was on, and we were horrendously underprepared for it. I think at the first time, our man Adam, sort of big dready guy, he got kicked out during sound check. So we were already we were members down beforehand, and we realised we needed a drummer for that gig. That was the first gig we played with the drummer as well. Before it was just a tourist djembe, you know what I mean? It was as cringe as it sounds looking back. But our man Smith said, he'll drive, because we needed some transport for it, obviously, because it's Falmouth, and there was 5 of us or whatever. And he said, he'll drive us down in his LW convoy, but the catch is he's going to play drums. And we were like, all right, well, can you rehearse? No. And we were like, all right, it'll be what it'll be. So he basically was able to learn the songs during sound check. 45-minute set, totally bossed it.
Really?
And he's still with us to this day. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a cool story. I thought that was going to go another direction.
No,
we got there, we had the worst gig of our life, but we all laughed about it.
In that early squad rotation period, you'll appreciate football in that, actually.
Yeah.
That early squad rotation period, there'd be a lot of times where Al would sort of get a mate in or to play, and I would only have met them side of stage before going on. But, hi, I'm Tom. Hi, I'm Paul. We're in a band together now. Oh, hi.
I bet Al didn't really know him.
I just pulled him off the street,
Met him
really.
in a smoko.
Kind of, yeah.
How many is there now? 10?
There's 8 now, isn't there?
8. I guess in total, in grand total 9. Split across sort of Derby, Leicester, Nottingham area,
Nice.
and 1 in Scotland.
And everything in life has a byproduct. There's good and bad. There's polarities to it. Is it good having a squad of 9, or can it be quite hard to work with sometimes?
Logistically, it's the Seas of Mirth are renowned for it's got Seas of Faff was the as the nickname that stuck in around about 2012.
Rang through.
It's a Ripley term for something else.
Is it really? I don't know why. Yeah.
Go on, lad.
All right, we'll take that. Yeah, love a bit of faff.
I could tell.
Much faff going down in Ripley tonight.
This is like, have you seen Rick and Morty? It's squanching.
No, I've never seen it. Logistically, it's been. I mean, getting practices together it's always been quite tricky. But there's not one bit of that I regret. I've always liked having them.
Yeah.
Kind of a big group. I like the idea of I like the clan.
Yeah.
I like our clan. And we're all very close. We always have been. And even though we've had rotated membership, like we're all still very close with the ex-members and
that's right.
It's,
there's generally 4 or 5 of us that will rehearse more than the others. We got Emilios, for example. He's a bouzouki player. He's a dad.
I miss him.
And there's Manning, who's the mandolin guy. He's a dad of 2. In midweek, like you'll be lucky if you saw them, basically. But I guess for the songs we know and they well rehearsed enough, it's they can just sort of jump in and they'll generally be all right. But,
is it genuinely like a family?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And because we've sort of melded with Illuminati now, and
how does that all work? What is it?
There's sort of 3 Mirth members are in Illuminati as
so
well.
It's me, Emilios, and my better half Sally, who's on the keys in both bands as well. So yeah.
So that's Illuminati, and then Seas of Mirth. Is there another one as well?
There's some various solo projects floating around, but there's not really. And we used to have Grace and the Magic Roots as
That's
well.
right,
so we used to have those 3 bands kind of connected in the one thing. It's really strange.
Picturing a massive Venn diagram in my head.
Yeah.
All the interconnected bands. That
the Mirth universe we tried to coin it.
It's
never catching on.
Do you get double dibs in if you get booked? Can you get booked?
But like Boomtown's the prime
Illuminati?
example. So like both bands have been on the bill for that. Whether either it's one or the other one or both.
Making bank, brother.
Or just getting everyone in, I suppose, getting all our mates in. So we've kind of pushed the boat out Mirth-wise on like all the props and everything. We've gone sort of much less pirate now. That's kind of the thing in the past. It's more like sort of deep sea sensory vibes now, I guess. So that involves getting a giant glowing octopus to the gigs. And giant jellyfish as well. So that's a really good way.
Snippet of the podcast.
Yeah.
Giant octopus. Not of anything. No context.
So the giant octopus operation involves someone to be inside it, to kind of to be the body essentially. Someone to guide it, and basically one person per leg. So that's a great way of getting 10 tickets for a festival.
We need 8 tentacles.
Tentacles. Yeah.
Do they take their roles very seriously as well?
I think so, actually. I think.
They're well into it. Yeah.
I think.
Sure.
I mean, that's
like
what I was
buzzing to get in.
I always really like people around. It's not just the band itself. It's the people around it, partners and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a big community vibe which keeps us very warm and fuzzy and what have you.
Have you ever had any injuries at the gigs?
Oh,
you know
Christ.
What? There's always a tug of war, isn't there?
I fell into the stage once at a gig in Cornwall. It was like it was this sort of squatted.
What a mate!
So this squatted farm.
What a mate!
Where in the centre of the stage there was this triangular hole, and I don't know why they didn't board it up.
Yeah.
They
did warn us beforehand. Don't tread on that triangle.
Oh my life!
This is the same gig where Loz, our old cellist, he was basically had 2 really precarious Marshall stacks on top of him while he was like, this is the way it's going to end, isn't it? So basically there was my leg. I couldn't avoid it at one point. Like I couldn't just stay that stoic for the whole gig, trying to not fall into the hole. So last song, leg goes down.
Oh mate, break anything?
No, it's fine. Yeah,
Played it off.
Because I was like stood next to him, and then I looked round, and Al had just gone, and he was just kind of like just in the stage at that point.
I've had a rubber dinghy thrown at me on stage as well before.
Yeah. We've all had that happen. Haven't we?
Yeah. It's got the little rope bit on there.
Yeah. I think it wasn't the impact of the dinghy. I think it was like I saw the dinghy coming for me. It was all happened in slow mo, obviously, and it kind of just like it boshed the mic, and then the mic. It was the impact the mic made on my mouth and the face and teeth and everything. Yeah. It was just the dinghy. That would be quite pleasant.
Was it done in
it was like
playful jest, or did he hate you?
I don't know. To be
Hard to
honest.
tell. One of the early ones. Hard to tell. No, it was jestful.
Yeah.
What else we had? Emilios pulled his tooth out once trying to gaffer tape gaffer tape his wireless pack onto his bouzouki. This is a headline stage at Boomtown.
Boomtown, yeah.
It's one
That's
of
a
one
big
of
one
a,
as
you know,
well.
big one. Yeah, and he pulled his tooth out like on a bit of gaffer tape.
No one
my
told
amp
him that
set
he
on
could-
fire once.
Tape. You can't pull your tooth out with gaffer
That's it.
tape.
And no one told him that you can actually just rip that off with your fingers either.
So he
Like,
just did
so
that.
he was like,
he bit it and he just came.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
in the
He's trying to
moment.
pull. Yeah. In the moment, he was
Pussy
just
teeth.
yeah.
yeah, well, yeah.
Lucky little teeth.
The funny thing is with that is he's had a replacement cap in. That's
such
that's
a weird
very
story.
bright, obviously. And now we kind of like project UV lights on stage as add to the. We all dress in white
Like
and everything.
Goldie.
Yeah. So that one tooth just
Whitey.
sort
And
that
Ian,
one
me,
tooth
myself,
sticks
and
out
Harry.
way more than all the others if you look closely enough. Yeah.
He's gonna love. He's gonna love that we're talking about.
Mate, we really love you. But when you're with the audience, because you're so fun and playful, and usually late night, and there's a lot of energy and drinking, does it just turn into utter carnage most of the time?
I like how you did otter carnage.
Utter
there.
carnage.
That's
It
what
has
Terry
it.
Nutkins, isn't it?
Yeah. Terry. I think I'd certainly we've had nights in Europe where that's kind of it's gone because there's a thing in is it Germany or Holland that they throwing beer on the floor is kind of a compliment. It's kind of
Really?
it's a thing. Yeah, you chuck it around. You know.
Yeah.
Sacrilege
And
here.
Yeah.
Cost me £6, that did.
Get that back now.
It's a dangerous combo. It was Holland actually, I think.
Okay.
It's a dangerous combo when you have that, and then we pull the tug-of-war out, kind of like
Oh, of
later
course.
set, and then people go down. You know, we've had like glasses broken out. It's one girl broke a leg
Oh, mate.
at a gig.
See,
and
these are the injuries I'm on
yeah.
about.
That's like,
More coming out now. I knew it.
she was so nice about it as well, actually. And I was, you know, there's this horrible moment afterwards. I was like, just got to remind you that we are insured. But no, I didn't. No, it's you know, we haven't. Yeah, there's been an ambulance has been out a couple of times actually.
Have you watched The Hobbit?
Yeah.
There's a bit at the very end of, I think it's the second film, and he looks out and the dragon's flying and he goes, "What have we done?" That's what I've got. An image of you guys just like, oh, we gone done it now.
Oh my god! Now you mention
Apocalypse
it.
is upon us.
When going back to that life-size Puppet Pirate thing that we used to do.
Oh god.
We played that Falmouth Students' Union. Going back to that gig as well. But we didn't do this basically. But we left it on stage after we'd finished, and we'd gone sort of trouncing for the rest of the night and having some drinks, and then basically the security let anyone like any old fucker on stage basically. So they basically just like it's like a big water butt basically with some holes jigsawed into it, what have you. And they just lobbed it into the crowd. And next thing you know, there's an ambulance rocking up.
Oh.
The person who literally got Donkey Konged in the face, basically.
Yeah.
Are they still with us to this day?
Oh, yeah, they didn't die. No one's died.
No one's
so
died.
far. So yeah. No. But I mean, not mosh pits are dangerous places, aren't they? I think
Yeah.
probably get a lot.
I
I'm
went
trying to
to a
mitigate
old
this.
pit, really.
Yeah, have you heard
I'm trying to mitigate
a
this.
wall of death.
Wall of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I didn't know what that was. I'm into Jason Mraz. I want to be on a beach just chilling with a ukulele.
Is that where you get the two sides of the
That's the
audience
one.
together
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you run
yeah.
into
And
each other?
I used to play a lot of rugby.
Ain't coming for nothing.
And I'm a lot more, again, mature in my age. But back then, it's fight and flight, and I've got no sense of my own restrictions.
Yeah.
So when they're coming at me, I'm like, war!
Adrenaline kicks in as well.
I
It's
didn't
something to
see
be reckoned
the
with, though.
jolliness in it, but there was a guy, and we just kept connecting. And suddenly it basically turned into a brawl.
Yeah.
Come on then, we'll go.
That's the danger. Yeah. And was that a bit okay? So it could be worse then, couldn't it? Right? I mean, I guess we definitely it's quite an inclusive. We don't divide people. You know?
Yeah, it's a togetherness.
It's a togetherness. Yeah.
One broken leg, one
Yeah.
bad tooth, and that's about it.
Yeah.
We're all right.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that bad.
That, realistically, like I remember,
On one hand.
was it Caesar Mirth or Illuminati that we had on here?
Illuminati.
In 2020.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
But that was everyone sort of. It was quite busy, very rainy.
Yeah.
But everyone just picks a little bit to dance in, and you just sort of you've got these people at the front that are dancing like loonies, and then you get different layers at gigs, don't you?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
I quite
yeah.
like them layers. But you guys, it's not all about the chaos. It's still about respect and being nice to one another and smiling. That's
Unity
the
is
energy
the bottom
I
line,
get
really,
from it.
at the end of it. Yeah. unless there's any sort of dodgy folks in the audience, we will let them know in one way or another. We played in Amsterdam, and there was this guy in the crowd, basically just trying to sort of like. Trying to do these weird things to us while we were on stage. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
He kind of like went to Emilios and like put his arms around him and trying to pull him back down from the stage. And
yeah,
I don't know. He was on anything. Or I'm
tickling
not sure.
armpits.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
trying to rub us up the wrong way and in the most sort of obtuse.
It's like they've just never
way.
found a way to be centre of attention. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
their moment to do it.
Yeah, sometimes
People.
And basically, what happened is that we all like when he kind of he definitely crossed the line by this point. So we were like at the end of the gig, we got everyone to basically just do a massive pile-on on him.
Oh my god!
This guy. This is the guy that's ruined your night. Yeah.
They can. It takes one or two people to ruin a night sometimes.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I was performing at a festival at the Lakes, and it was only 1 in the afternoon, maybe 2, and you're sort of getting wavy or on a level, but you're kind of supposed to still be there. And I'm doing poetry, and you build your way up, don't you? So I'm doing this quite heartfelt piece, and the guy just comes at the very front, big festival, and just, boo, poetry, boo. And I'm just
Well, you're at the wrong festival. Or something.
battling it. It's one guy out of maybe like a few hundred people around. It's a mini sort of festival. But you think, why don't you just go to your little stupid tent or truck or whatever you're with, have your drink with your people, play your cards, and then come when it's all starting to go off? It just doesn't make any sense, but it does feel like it's their moment then. So I just stared him down, and I'm battling him with poetry, and I thought, this is very ironic. It's a beautiful, graceful art form, and I'm like... Yes, one of the lines, you know where you've got a line in your head, and it's the perfect line for the moment, but it was also very ironic. It's like compassion is key to our human survival. There's too much media that, and I'm like just staring him down, and I think, I don't know if this is good or bad, what this is, but it was messy.
What happened to him in the end?
I think again I went up to, because I'm sort of that person as well.
Yeah.
That will confront. I don't like to leave it uncharted, so I'll go over to him after and say, you were a twat. Just let him know, because I think it's repressing it, isn't it? If you just let it go and you actually... I don't know if that will help him or not, but them moments, will that stick in the mind? And when he's with somebody next and maybe a nice, beautiful bit of music going on where it's supposed to be silence, will he reflect and go... I was a bit of a twat that time, maybe not again. So I think you need confronting.
Yeah. And that's massive that they will realise that, you know what I mean? And they need that sort of confrontation, also or something to happen.
I like to think it emanates.
Yeah.
Maybe he just goes on with his life being a twat.
Yeah.
But
in that case, he should have went pylon.
That's it. I strongly recommend the pylon. You're not inciting violence. You're not inciting, but in a court of law, I'll stand up. Pylons. It's quite friendly, isn't it? It's like saying, go and tickle him. Go and tickle him. Go for pylon. It's the humiliation that you're after. Really,
they need a little bit of telling in some way, don't they?
Oh yeah, that's the one.
So you've been all over the world with it then, or mainly Europe?
Europe, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, Europe. Logistically, the world is tricky. Getting us over there. But,
you go down really well in Australia.
Yeah.
100, because I lived there for a year, and it is all just that playful, silly carnage. You'd go down really well there. I'll get you some connections in.
Yeah.
But, so Falmouth was sort of the first big one.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
And have you done? I mean, what was Boomtown? How many thousands?
I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because because like it always seems like this. I mean, because it's one of the biggest stages. I think it's like one of the biggest stages at Boomtown. I don't want to say.
Yeah, the Old Town stage.
The Old Town stage. Yeah,
big area.
So big area. So like, I mean, I don't know how much. What does 1,000 people look like?
Not
really sure. I don't really know. I think we've done a few. We headline a festival on Helgoland, a tiny little island, basically like a sand dune.
Where's this?
It's like a biker festival. It's kind of in between Denmark and Germany. It's German.
Helgoland.
So North Sea. Think Denmark sticks out like that. North goes to Germany. It's like there.
Wow.
Basically.
And really small little islands.
So, yeah, full of bikers and seals. It's really
This
weird.
is
So there's this one bit where we did the headline start. The sun's sort of setting, And I remember sort of looking out the back of this crowd. It's quite, again, how big is 1,000 people? I don't really know. And I just remember looking out the back and just seeing just into shot this kind of like sort of seal just flop in. This is a great moment.
You've got an octopus at the front.
Yeah. There's like a seal doing the worm at some point as well. Like.
We did a bit,
similar size to Jersey, Helgoland.
Oh, much smaller. Much
Even
smaller.
smaller.
Yeah,
it's like 2 miles wide, I think.
Yeah.
This is ace.
Yeah.
How'd you get that gig?
Someone used to know recommended it, and then I got in touch, and then they were like, all right, yeah, come and play. Brilliant sound. So yeah, next scene, we're getting on this ferry, just some random spot in the North Sea where they couldn't dock up properly. So they had to sort of the island's like 2 islands. It's like one, the main one where people live on, and the tiny sand dune on where the festival was at. So yeah, they had to drop anchor in between the islands and then put us on this smaller boat and like chuck all our gear on, and then sped off to the sand dune. So
sounds sketchy, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
one
at the
of
time.
those moments where you think, have I just sold us all a lie?
Yeah. There's been a lot of times. A lot of times we kind of thought like, we're gonna die here.
Yeah,
there's been a few times.
They're the best moments, though.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
they're the
are.
ones for podcasts.
Yeah. Lugging a giant organ onto a lifeboat.
Yeah.
Aided by our man Adam, he's a well-built guy, but his skin was green from
he was
all
he's got really seasick. Really seasick, and then he had to carry his organ like this. What was it? A Filicordia? What was it? Phillips Filicordia. Like it's the classic, like the classic 60s kind of like whirly organ sound. And we bought one in Holland, loved it, and it's got spring reverb in and stuff like this. And I just remember him like holding this really bloody heavy thing as well, and trying to get. With his seasickness, trying to get from one big boat into this tiny boat, and they're like, okay, come on, step in. And he stepped in, he went, boom, and I went, boom. I was like, the spring reverb still works. But God knows how we got it in and out.
Have you seen that documentary Firefest?
Yes.
God, yeah.
Oh, dude, that was a great documentary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really well done. So it's nothing like that, though. It was really well organised.
No, really ridiculously organised.
Who's headlining this sort of festival? What?
It was
us.
No way! You were the main dogs.
Don't ask how. But yeah, they put us up in the chalets and they brought us fresh bread in the morning. This is Germany, so like this. Yeah, sometimes the stereotypes are bang on.
They exist.
Yeah. The checkout time was 11 o'clock. We were still sort of traipsing about by this point. They brought in some cleaners. They started like dusting around us. But at 11, bang on 11, you know what I mean? Like, right, yeah.
It was quite cool, yeah.
Chaise long.
It was, again, this is it. Like, one thing I would say, if you're going to start a big band, is like, financially, it ain't going to work out for you.
I was going to, honestly, that was a question coming up, because I didn't want to go too much down the financial route, but I was going to say, is this business for you? Or is this just literally pleasure and play?
This is weekend fun.
Fun.
It funds itself, basically.
And then any money that you make out of it, does it go into a kitty and a pot?
Yeah.
And then you get either instruments needed or travel or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
But it's sort of season of benevolence fund that it goes into. I mean, we got to think that studio time is a big thing, and we've never really gone down the route of because second album was signed. But then the last one we released, we set up our own label because we're kind of DIY people, right?
Yeah.
And also like trying to explain the creative process of this to someone that might not understand it.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult, isn't it? And I think we've always needed to control it. So
it's like tasting honey, isn't it? You've got to actually try it.
It's sweet flowers.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. You need to change the flowers. No, it's good. Trust me, it's good.
It's sticky, gooey, and sweet. Many things like that, lads.
We've always kind of we've paid studio time ourselves. But and yeah, I mean, I think because even if it was signed, someone's going to take a massive cut, and then you got to divvy the rest between 9 people.
Yeah, and then you're open to so much more public opinion.
Yeah,
that guy who said that bargain hunt comment. Yeah, he'll be straight back on it. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah. I wonder how we would have been, with more influence from someone else. I wonder how we would have been marketed. I think we would have been marketed like the new Mighty Boosh. I think that's how we would have been.
Maybe, yeah.
You'd have been squashed in a little box.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we would have had a song on there as like hold music on something.
Yeah.
We have had that as well. But and it would have fizzled out quite quick. It would be, it would be oh, you're that guy.
Yeah.
There would have been a lot of that.
Cheese and crackers.
10
years ago, all like old guys now trying to rehash it in 10 years time. Come on, just one more gig.
That's the one. I think we've generally stayed on. That's it. Like lots of bands go up a lot and then go down, and the down can be quite quite sort of sobering.
Yes.
We've kind of stayed more or less on the same level for most of the career, I'd say. Which I'm totally happy with.
Yeah, it's good.
I ask you this, both as musicians on your own premise. Have you ever fallen out of love with music in any which way, where it either got too serious or stagnated or anything like that?
That's a good question.
No, but I think when it came into writing the third album, we were like, right, let's really sort of turn on its side.
Just wanted to completely get like everything that we'd done before, just kind of like just change it up, like change the instruments, change the instrumentation, change the way we write songs. Because I mean, I have to admit, I mean, if anyone, I mean, Al's, you are like an incredible. You've got incredible resilience, but me less so. And I's definitely fed up of doing this. But got to a stage where we're doing very well out of it. Don't get me wrong. Like we're doing loads of things. The Southwest. When everyone meets you, they're like "Yar!"
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I know, and I enjoyed playing the part of it.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
But it's just
we never act like that ourselves, do we?
No.
I mean that's
like the opposite of that, really. And I just thought, I think every now and again that ultimately, like in their silliness, we have always been able to write songs.
Yeah.
And we then just dress it with silliness, and then it kind of got to a point where I'm like, well, let's actually we like odd shit, right? So like let's actually make an album that's closer to what we've always wanted to do, rather than sort of thinking, no, we better just chuck a sort of gang vocal in here or something like this, like
or
let's
actually
solo,
the stuff they're going to want that, aren't they?
Yeah,
but, like at the end of the day, you are writing for yourself. It's a massive bit of self-satisfaction. You've put all this time and generated money from the band, and lots of sort of group dynamics bounces around it. So you want it to be the best to your tastes as well.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, you want to really get a buzz out of playing it. You're not just going through the motions. And I started to go through the motions a little bit.
Me too.
And I think the audience can feel that eventually.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If your energy's not in it and you're just playing, it becomes hollow, and they feel that.
Energy is everything. It can easily resonate. That's So I guess like having the whole sort of pandemic and everything, it kind of helped us sort of. We'd already released the album by that point, the latest album, Submarine Dreams. It's sort of like the sort of deep water odyssey with like lots of influences coming from all over, like angles all over basically.
Is it all on Spotify?
Yes.
Yeah, just make sure. And say that again.
HTTP. Where was I going with this? And I guess the way that we wanted to sort of go forward with that. We were once gigs finally returned after sort of the non-gig period of COVID and all that. It was massively refreshing because we wondered how it would finally go down once we actually finally got around to touring it, and everyone was like, yes. It was all vibes. So yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I was expecting you to do this and this from the old album. No, we've had none of that.
Really?
Basically.
That didn't actually come
Either
through.
that,
I
or
was
they
gonna
just
ask
not open their mouth about it.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely had that. So I mean, as well, the big step recently is like going from just playing on a bill of something to actually doing sort of run of ticketed shows now, and they've gone very, very well. So people are a bit more invested in you as a thing, right? When you're doing a ticketed show, and actually, I actually think this is probably the best we've played in a long time. Actually, I think we're doing good shows at the moment because it's in our weirdness. It's in our this is the right kind of
These are
weird
your
that we want.
parameters.
This is like it's like the welcome to our minds.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's that authentic self shining through again, isn't it?
Yeah,
think
hang
so.
on. Yeah.
It's nuanced as an artist in music, because do you like Fat Freddy's Drop?
I only really know the first album.
That's the bingo.
Ah,
I really like Based on a True Story.
Love it.
And it sort of it was a bit of a saving grace in my life. I don't know, I was on a YouTube rabbit hole. I wasn't feeling a good space mentally again. That music come on, and it was just, where's this been?
Yeah.
And it was a soundtrack of mine for so long. I was going to the gym and different places, and it just dun 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 dun. I'm like, oh, music's so good. And I went to see them in New Zealand, and that's where they're from. So lucky to go and see that, and they played all that, and it's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Brilliant.
And then they played Rock City in Nottingham. And they did the second album, all just second album.
Okay.
Maybe one or two. I think they played Ernie from the first.
Yeah.
And that was about it.
Actually, yeah.
But the second album is literally, they've gone, fuck you to the old fans.
Okay,
kind of. They've just gone, we're doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
But it's so polar opposite.
Okay,
There's
right.
no ska, reggae, play, chill.
Yeah.
It's all experimental electronic stuff.
Right.
And I was just not ready for it. So
Yeah. Okay.
it is hard, isn't it, to just make a jump.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
And
We like to.
there's
Go on.
sort of just a bit of inside your own sort of the backlog. You go, yeah, let's not just go full fuck the fans.
Yeah.
Let's try and keep the elements to us. Maybe that's just
I
a
think
thought I have.
so Beck always said, "There's the only constant is change."
Yeah, I love that saying.
So you like the thing is, every Beck album is completely different, isn't it? You know, and you expect that with Beck, and you don't go there thinking like, I just want him to do Bowie, you know,
the main man for it.
yeah. You don't go there and say, I just want Beck to do the acoustic ones.
true.
You know, you want to hear a bit of all of his. You want to hear a bit of Midnight Vultures. You want to hear kind of, you know.
I suppose
some
if
more
you're like a
tunes.
true music fan, you want that.
Yeah.
People that like that are probably like really into their music.
Yeah.
But people that are there for the sound kind of go with that expectation.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's me
We've
as
had
an
a little bit
audience
of that.
member going with expectation when you shouldn't necessarily.
That's it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, if you do that, you're in danger of just waiting for a certain something to happen during the gig rather than taking in the vibe and just going with it. But yeah, you are right in a sense. If you're as big as Fat Freddy's Drop, and then I think you that first album kind of owes them a living to some extent. With us, maybe not so much.
Ease us off, guys. Ease us off.
Yeah.
Ease in. You filthy boys. Ow. I know you've got you've got work, haven't you?
Yes,
Where do
true.
you work? Plug that.
All over the shop, really. All over the sort of Midlands. I'm kind of like a music therapist, but I don't really like to use that title so much. Cause
Why didn't I know this?
I don't know.
Because you just told me now. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You never asked.
Yeah.
It's all my fault, always.
Yeah. Okay. So various sort of homes and day centres. I work with people with autism, learning difficulties, and dementia. That sort of stuff. And do rock up my guitar, play some songs, get to know the people I work with, find out what music they like, learn their favourite songs, for example. Just sort of make it a very interactive process where they're the stars. I'm just kind of like the facilitator, I guess. But yeah, it's sort of.
I'm channeling your thoughts now.
Yeah, and just try to make them buzz and act
beautiful.
and be their best person I guess.
Oh, what a cool job, man.
Yeah, I love it. Don't ask me how I got into it, but it's like one of those sort of music.
Well, I want to, but I know we've got to wrap it up, really.
Yeah.
Where you off to? Nottingham?
Yeah, it's in Nottingham. It's in the Meadows. It's a place called Crocus Fields. I've been going there for like the last 7 years. So know the guys.
Well,
really
we'll be utilising you because we're working with the council at the minute, and we're doing loads of different bits and bobs of a similar accord.
Yeah.
Been doing a thing called Off the Breaks for the last 36 weeks.
Sweet.
Just put a little break on it. We're going into the summer, but yeah, it's all musically influenced. And
that's amazing.
The young people. So I'd love to collaborate with you. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, consider it done.
What do you do?
I'm a journalist.
Is it?
I used to actually work at the Ripley and Heenan News. Genuinely, there's a report on the Ripley and Heenan News when I started up.
It's still going, the Ripley and Heenan News?
I think it's actually just stopped going. I think so. I think it's only just been wound up. Yeah, but it's a real shame. But it's got like a musical lineage to it, Ripley and Heenan News. The editor of it used to be John Tams, who's acclaimed folk musician who's in Sharp. He sings the theme tune to Sharp. Do you remember?
No way.
Over the Hills and Far Away. And he called me once.
Wow.
He called me once and we had this conversation about music. I was like, how did you manage to do it while you were an editor? He's like, I think it's folk music doesn't pay any money. I was like, yeah. Yeah, you're kind of right. But then he got the gig with Sharp and then he left. So he went basically from the Ripley and Heenan News to being on telly, pretty much. But yeah.
I think Caesar Mirth could do a podcast. Do you know? Have you thought about doing any little side notes like that?
If we had more time, we'd totally be on it. Yeah, I'd love to do like a radio show, just like we've got like, all the influences and like all the crazy new music we find all the time. There's definitely there's definitely some scope in
there's
that.
10 of you as well, so it wouldn't even just have to be the same people every time.
It'd
just be the Caesar Mirth show.
Yeah.
But then it's just mixing it up. So I suppose you'd find time in that. It's like 2 or 3 of you, but I honestly, I've really enjoyed this. It's been
me too.
a beautiful energy. I'm sorry that you've got to go.
Oh no, it's fine. Have we got time to do some plugs?
I was just going to get us onto the plug-in.
Let's get down to business.
Yeah. Get cigars out now. Please, what shows have you got coming up? I had so many more questions in my head, you know. We had hours left.
Bennett, hey, we'll come back.
Would you come back?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Oh, lads. You make me so happy.
Might come back in stage gear next time.
Maybe
I
more
thought
in
about doing
character.
that, but it's actually in the wash for our show coming up, which is in Derby on Easter Sunday. It's at the Hairy Dog.
This is coming out next Friday as well.
Okay, so in 2 days' time.
2 days' time.
Yeah, on the 17th.
I'm going to get it done for you.
Yeah, that's my man. We're headlining at the Hairy Dog. It's our sort of big gig. We're pulling out the stops for it. We've got all the crazy glowy sea creatures joining us as well for the party. We've got we kind of curated our lineup as well. So we got Ask My Bull, who were
great band. Yeah,
amazing band. We've had the pleasure of playing with at festivals and on tour in the last year or so. They're ridiculously mind-blowingly amazing. So they're on before us. Then we got Shruzik, which is Dathan. Yeah, I've never seen Shruzik as well before.
3-4 podcasts ago.
Yeah,
beautiful podcast. Just come out of rehab.
Okay,
so that was raw and
real.
Yeah. His music. Well, you've never seen it?
I've never seen. I've only met Dathan a few times, but he's an entertaining fellow to be around as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing this performance for the first time.
I've got a funny story of that because we put. I don't really know what I think it's a busking session. We hold little busking sessions on the bus.
Yeah.
But it was sort of just near summer, so we're outside on the stage, and all my old football mates came down. And the Ripley lads, so the lads, you know, Ripley in the News, you know the squad I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And all my lads come down, and they're meeting all my new music-y mates. And Dathan's on the stage, and he's singing a song about his bumhole. Okay. And then all my mates just turn to me in all the cars, and they go, "Is this what you're into, is it?" But it's about how the sun shines out his bumhole, and it's so funny. But again,
sounds great.
He's a big performance on stage, isn't he?
I'm really looking forward to it.
So special.
We got Santino Edino. Santino Andino, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, father and daughter folk Latin duo from Ecuador via Ashbourne. So there you go.
It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great night of entertainment. I think. I think any of those
sold out.
No, the Hairy Dog is like 400 capacity, so that's
that's
like all of Derby that you can fit in there.
Yeah.
Let's fill out.
So, but quite a few tickets sold.
Oh yeah,
you've
it
got a few-
should be a
few
fun
going
night.
down.
Should be booming, I reckon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hairy Dog. It's really nice in there now, isn't it? Have
It's
you been
lovely
recently?
actually. We had a look to just check if the octopus fits with like enough clearance
course.
for the ceiling without.
Have they done
boshing
quite a lot
the
of
head.
renovation in there?
I'm going to say yes.
I believe they have.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
I just went past it the other day, and it all looked completely different.
Right.
Facelift.
I suppose, during a pandemic of like no gigs as well. If you're a venue, it's like right now's that time to do all this much needed, renovations and what have you. If we're allowed to plug one more thing,
Mate, just plug away,
Yeah.
dude. Again, I'm free now. My
Sound.
Fridays are coming. It's you that needs to go.
so we've got a remix album. It just came out as well.
Yeah.
So Submarine Dreamixes is the name of it. Excuse the pun. On the last album, Submarine Dreams, obviously. During lockdown, we kind of wanted to do this anyway. Really, we just sort of put out several different versions of tunes from the album. And it's kind of like lots of tunes have been given a sort of different sort of take.
Stance.
Like more sort of tentacles have sort of sprawled out from.
Oh, you metaphorical.
It's really brilliant, like bit of work from and amazing work for you for sort of coordinating it all. But like haiku Salu on there. They did. I mean, that's just fantastic. But they completely reimagined the songs, and actually everyone's taken a completely different. Some people are going like a dub version. Some
This
have
is
just
cool.
completely like art rock the hell out of it. One of them's just a chaos pad.
And some
Did
jingly
you have
bells.
to,
Yeah.
to make that happen, did you have to send all your stems away and everything?
That's right,
for them
yeah.
to be sort of mixed about and played with. And
Yeah.
did you then pick the different people for the different sounds?
Kind of, yeah. I think, because although some people said I'd really like to do that one, right?
Yeah.
Howell Maz in his first release, actually, some people established artists, some people kind of like this their first one,
Yeah,
and
good
some people, but he was like, I want to do that one, you know what I mean? And but it's fantastic, So some people kind of pick one, but others it's like, do you fancy, doing this one?
Yeah, that's right.
Have you got a stack of hard drives with all your stuff on it,
Oh
basically?
man!
It's 15.
At the moment, it's like my phone is just full of wabs.
Yeah.
And it's like every day I get notifications like this phone is going to blow up.
Yeah.
If you don't delete some files now. So yeah, there's a lot of that.
Have you got it all backed up though?
Somewhere?
Oh,
basically. I think that's another good reason for having 9 of you in the band. Someone's got it somewhere.
Yeah.
Within
That's
one
true.
device. So yeah.
I've lost some files in my timeline.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's nothing worse.
No,
There's nothing
I
worse.
remember I was just doing a music video for Concrete Rose, and I think I've told them a true story now. If not, they'll probably listen to this now. But my cat just stared at. He always wants fussing and playing with, and then he saw the thing that was very important to me, which was the hard drive, and he just kept looking at me, and I wasn't petting him. He kept looking at that, and he stared at me and just flick and went down, and the noise the hard drive made.
Yeah. Oh
And
no.
I'm like, oh no, please, I beg. And it wouldn't come back. I paid somebody £100 to try and get stuff off. No, couldn't.
Really?
Literally, the next day went, couldn't do it. I'm like, can I get my money back? No.
Oh, what
Yeah.
Cowboys, mate.
So I just broke my heart, lost all the footage, and then just threw £100 in the air and said, right, fuck it. What a party.
Yeah.
Let's die
Oh
tonight.
man.
But you still got your cat.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
what happened to the cat? Yeah. Cat's out the window.
And you- So thank you so much for being here, guys.
No worries.
Remind people though where they can get all your now music and what you've got going on.
All right, so you can get the remix album on Bandcamp at the moment. It will be on the streamers eventually, but we're raising funds for Surfers Against Sewage and Fish Act, who were kind of instrumental in helping the seas be much more of a more peaceful place for humans and wildlife as well, basically. So it's only a £5 as well. So if you got a spare £5 kicking about. You will not be disappointed, and you will have a rave in your living room, guaranteed. And all our other material is on the internet, all the streamers.
Streamers,
basically,
yeah, all the usual streaming places. Yeah.
Cool.
Is this your first time a plug-in? you at the MR, just wherever you go.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, you know where to find this stuff now.
Yeah, man.
Spotify.
You sometimes get
yeah.
people that do it so much, and I ask them, and they just turn to the camera. And
Not a comfortable plugger. I mean,
One of the most modest members of the band.
Sell it, guys, sell it. I'll do my bit. Guys, you've been a part of the Old Farm Bus, Back of the Bus Sessions podcast. I'm going to leave you on this. I always do, and I always will. Just be nice to one another, you beautiful set of buggers. That's all you got to do. Peace and love. Cheers for being here, guys.
No worries.
Oh,
anytime.
pleasure. Nice one, Mikey. Yeah.